Hello, I'm Klaus Andersen. Today is November the 22nd and it's 2018. Today we're taking a look at support and resistance, and I wrote an article on DataLand just a couple of days ago, and I had drawn in these support and resistance areas here to look for potential trades. Also specifically mentioned this minor resistance where I thought price might bounce down because we were at the channel liners of this bull trend channel here. So the context for a bounce here, and taking into account that this is prior support, made me think that, well, maybe we could get a bounce there. I thought this upper support line here might be more valid because it had more bounces, and as it turned out, later bounces matter more, as they usually do. So now we know that this right here served as major resistance up here, and that's prior support. So I'm gonna move the support area down to here. Okay, so let's just take a look at what happened. We had the trend line, the trend channel, and we had a reversal pattern at the channel line and at resistance area. And then we had a retest of the highs up here, and then we had a strong sell-off. This is you get the breakout from below these lows over here, right there, and this is the first bar. After that, we're just going to make it a bit larger so you guys can see. Usually what I do is I make this 200 points, 200 point range, so the bars I look at are always in the same ratio. So it's not one day they're not really tall and only 10 bars, and the next day they're really tiny and still 10 bars because the volatility is higher one day compared to the other. Then I usually just put 200 points in on this scale over here, and then I know just roughly how the volatility is just by looking at the chart. Okay, so this is the last pre-market bar, breaking up below this support. First bar of the day, bear bar, closed near the lows. Sorry about that, closed just above the middle, but didn't really pull back into this prior bar right here. If you were to take a short before the market open, then your stop had to go above this resistance area. Next bar closed bear below the prior bar. Now two bear bars in a row. This bar didn't pull back 1 pip, so potentially from the open bear trend. These two bear bars combined, they make out a bear trend bar that closed near the low. So bears are clearly in control. That can easily turn around in the morning, just after the open. And the third bar right here, another bear bar that closed near the low. So right now I would say this is a 15-minute bar that opened near the high, closed near the low, so that's a good signal bar for a sell from the open bear trend day. If you sold below, your stop still had to go up here, or at the very least above the open bar, and then you will have had a good trade on your hands. And then this is the breakout, that's the spike, and here's the channel, 1, 2, 3 pushes and a double bottom, and then we got a reversal up. And notice this green, this was support when we opened, now becomes resistance. And prior support as resistance, we see bounces up here. On this strong sell-off, you're expecting at least a test of either this low or at least a test of bear strength. You more often get fast V reversals on lows than you do on highs. On highs, you often get a more clear final flag pattern formation, a reversal formation. And on the lows right here, you often get sharper sell-offs and reversals. But that's not to say that if you get a sell-off like this, then you would still expect a retest of the lows or selling strength. Well, after this sell-off, now we determine how strong are the bulls. Strong enough for about, let's see if it made, this is the day's range, made a 50% correction right there into resistance. So good context for price to stop up here, good context to look for another short. So you had this spike up and you had the double top. That's actually a 2-bar reversal. You could go short below right here, but turns out that we got a third push up. So if this is the spike, that's a pullback. That's 1, 2, 3, a wedge final flag pattern, and then so below this bar right here, below that bar, and then if you sold below this bar right here, you would have gotten 10 points, and all the way down to the low of that bar, about 19 points. If you sold below this bar right here, you would have gotten your 10 points and a break even on the scalps, because now we just start trading sideways. And once again, you get a spike, and then you get a 1, 2, 3 push pattern, failed breakout of this trading range area, and a nice bear bottom to go short on. And once again, you just got your scalp and break even on the runners, and then bulls attempt again. And after this, we're still looking. We're still betting that price will test, if not the lows, then at least a bit lower before either turning up or breaking out to the downwards. But the longer we wait, the less the probability favors the downside, the more the probability goes into a 50-50 area. So, well, so you get the breakout attempt here, and could have sold the high of this range up here, and then you got your profits, and it never comes back to take out your break-even trades. Well, depending on where you got in, this might have gotten your break-even stops. But anyway, that's a spike, and then that's a 1, 2, 3 push pattern, and a failed breakout below this range. That's here it's clear that this is a resistance area, because most bounces and closes are, well, down here, and then still resistance and sellers all the way up here. When price made it up to 11.97ish, then there were sellers in the market again and sold it down. And we had support here, and it is an area when tried to break out, still buyers below the support area. And after a 3 push pattern, you could go along on this bar right here, betting that we're going to make it to the highs, and that this was a failed attempt to push down to these lows over here. If this signal had come earlier, then consider skipping it, because by then the probabilities of continuation of the bear trend from the open was higher. The longer, the more protracted this range gets, the more it's a 50-50 scenario. And after having had all these attempts, then probably trade it like a range. Then it moves up, you get a spike, and then you get this is a really nested pattern right here. It's not really big. That's a spike and a pullback, and a 1, 2 pulls back, 3 push pattern, and a bear reversal bar. I like that for another short of the highs, the major resistance and the resistance of this minor trend range. And lo and behold, we get a spike, and then we get a 1, 2, 3 push pattern. Again, an attempt to break out of these lows right here, but now we are late in the day, and could take your profits after completion of a pattern like this, and then price just went out sideways. I think not a lot of action today in the DAX because of Thanksgiving in the US, but there was a nice move in the morning, and there was some good trades in the in this range area up here. So clear price action. The trick is here not to get impatient, not to start betting on shorts in here before the pattern has completed, and not changing directions all the time, because in here you get a lot of signal bars. Let's just take a closer look at this. It's going to get a bit technical here, but bear with me. This is an important lesson if you trade by the price action. It was important to me. I messed this up a lot of times. So you get the 1 2-legged pullback and something that looks like a reversal. This is strong bull pullback. You get a large pull bar compared to these prior bear bars, and then you expect some follow through to the upside. You get a small, you get a bear doji bar. So bulls probably hoped that you would get higher. Bears in control of the market, betting that this is just a small pullback and we're gonna sell off. Bears disappointed because price doesn't sell off again. Bulls disappointed because of the entry bar here, and bulls regain control. And look at this, the bars are still large and getting a bit smaller, but still this is a strong bull bar. No consecutive bear bars, sorry, a strong bull leg, no consecutive bear bars in this large push, and it is quite a large push, 50%. Potentially second leg up after this push right here, potentially a retest, and then a second leg up into this resistance area again. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a test of this area and potentially another leg up. The second leg up of this bull leg right here came all the way over here. That's the second leg up, and this is just a sideways correction of this initial pull up. And well, back and forth on who's going to take control of the price. Is it the bears or is it the bulls? And often when you get this price action, you'll get a failed breakout and then a move to the other side, and then you get a failed breakout to the other side, and then you're going to get a move to the other side, and eventually it's going to break out. And could call this to the downside, a breakout, and then swing sideways. But yeah, let's just take a look at the 15-minute time frame. Just gonna move that right there, and this is how it looks. This is barbed wire price action on the 15-minute time frame. You want to stay away from this trading right here. And the 5-minute, you could read the smaller patterns. In the 15-minute, I would stay away from this. But look at that. That was the open buy. I talked about the 3 5-minute bear bars. This is what it looks like on. Sorry, this one right here. That's what it looks like on a 15-minute time frame. Breakout, follow through. Look, this bar is larger, bigger, so momentum is gaining. You want to sell that on the open, betting that we are going to go down for at least a measured move. Perhaps testing this support, perhaps testing this support over here, and that's what we ended up doing. So you had the pullback, then you had a small correction, and you had the second leg pullback, and now you read it. That's first leg up, and that's the second leg up. So you want to go short on a signal right here. The signal comes all the way down there. That's in the middle of this clutter in here. So probably you wanna skip it, or you wanna be able to get in on the 5-minute chart a bit higher. And price fails to break out the low side and just trades sideways. Well, that's a bit more on support and resistance today, and I draw these lines in on the text analysis I do for DayTradeLand as well. So if you want to check them out, I'm gonna put a link in the comments on this video. Well, that's it for now. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and I'll be back later this week or next week. Bye.